Hey guys, October 1st today. I'm excited for October. I just love the changing of the times, the changing of the seasons, the changes of the month. Every day, new day. I just get excited about it. Like, why not? I just think, why not? I'm just excited for today. And which leads me into this video, which is a kind of a continuation from yesterday, which is some of a teaching that Tony Robbins does. And this time I'm gonna try to keep it short, but it's super, super powerful. And like this like little teaching that he does is mega empowering, like paradigm shifting, empowering thing. Like if you can wrap your head around this, and I've actually heard this concept several times, and every time I hear it, I just get like new revelation. Like I start thinking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what does that mean for me? And it's so good. So again, this is my video journal talking about my journey from being a teacher to being a businessman, entrepreneur, and and going through like my personal development, also my business development, different things like that. And each and every day I'm learning and focusing and spending my time with people, videos, books, audios that is transforming and conditioning my mind to be the person that I want to be, right? Like if I just envision myself in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and I say, okay, if I'm that and I've achieved all this that I want to achieve, like how would I think, how would I be, how would I act, what would I be doing? And I'm like, well, why don't I just start doing that right now? Right? I mean, there's some things that I have limitations, but there are a lot of things that I can do. So that's what I do. So here's the thing. It's called the 3 questions. Tony Robbins says that we are constantly asking ourselves these 3 questions. There's a problem. Most people, myself included, unless I'm consciously aware of it, most people do these things subconsciously, without even thinking about it, without even giving it any consideration. And what happens when you do that, you become directed. And you lose control. You take the control off of your life, and everything around your life basically controls you. And this is where we get that victim mentality, that like woe is me mentality. This is where we get depression and like everything's against me type of thinking, because we as people, we just refuse to do like a hands-on approach to life and like discipline ourselves to look and direct our focus on ourselves and like actually take progressive steps, right? Like so many of us, and I've gone through big seasons of this, where I'm just like a boat in like a river, just getting tossed back and forth, smashed against these rocks, smashed against these, and just going, and I have no rudder and no oars, and I am just flying down the river. And I don't know if you can relate, but sometimes that's how life feels, that it's like I'm out of control, but I'm just being carried away. I'm living, I'm doing my thing, I'm going to work every day, I have family, I'm taking care of everything, but I have very little control over anything that's going on, and I'm not really happy with that. So this is where these 3 questions, if we begin to be consciously aware of them, like begin to really shape our lives in a big way. Okay, what are the 3 questions? Here we go. The first one is focus. The question is, what am I going to focus on? This is massively important. Like, what am I going to focus on? Everything that happens around us, that in our lives, there basically is like 2 different things that we can focus on, or many things that we can focus on. And the thing is, when we focus on something, that becomes our life, becomes like what we're doing. And so whatever we choose to focus on, right, then we're going to ask, what does that mean? And it's completely on us. Like, we decide the meaning. And when I first heard this quote right here that Tony Robbins said, I just thought he was absolutely crazy. But he said, nothing has any meaning. Nothing has meaning. I'm like, what? Nothing has meaning? Nothing has meaning. It doesn't mean that like there isn't a purpose for things. It just, what that nothing has meaning, what that means is that in our life, everything that's happening around us doesn't actually have any inherent meaning until we assign it a meaning. And so that the simple way to look at it is like two people see the exact same thing happening, have the exact same experience, but one person comes out and be like, that was great, and the other person like, that was awful, because they've assigned a different meaning to the same exact thing. So meaning is basically a construct of our own imagination. Meaning is a construct of our own imagination. Whew. Like, think about that for a second. Does that mean you can change the meaning of just about everything? You can change the meaning of anything. I'm gonna show you in just a second. All right, and then so once we pick something we're gonna focus on, right? We're gonna decide a meaning of it, and then we're going to decide, we're gonna ask the question, what are we gonna do about it? And so that's another super powerful question. I gotta ask, what am I gonna do about it? Now, like I said, most people, and myself included, done this so many times subconsciously, right? Oh, my car broke down. I got a flat tire. This car is a piece of junk. Like stinking nails. Like now I'm gonna be late, and my day's ruined. Okay, and I'm gonna sit here and wait for a tow truck. I'm gonna overpay. Right, all those things I'm doing it reactively, and I'm assuming zero responsibility. Okay, I focused on the tire bursting, my car breaking down, whatever it is, right? What it means is that my day's ruined. Like I've assigned it, like, well, this is it. I know that you've done it. I've done it too, where you had like, you woke up and you had like a couple little challenges before you even got to work or got to school, and you're like, well, it's just one of those days. Dude, I have my students come in at 7:30, first period of the day, and they're like, it's already a horrible day. It's gonna be a horrible day. I'm like, what? It's 7:30. It doesn't matter. Something happens, you trigger it, you create a meaning for it, right? And so then guess what? Your actions totally follow suit. If it's gonna be a horrible day, how do you act? If you know you're gonna have a horrible day, how do you act? Are you nice and like cordial to the people around you? No, that would make it probably end up being a good day. And you've already decided and made the meaning that it's gonna be a horrible day, so why would you be nice and cordial to people? That's wacky, right? That's why you will act congruent with what your mind perceives as reality. So whatever you have assigned meaning to, you will act in such a way that basically makes that true. It'll manifest itself to be real. Oh, dude, this is some like deep stuff. Again, like you wrap your head around this stuff, it's mind blowing. It is like, here's some concrete examples. Okay, so focus. If we say like, what are we gonna focus on? So many times we have the choice. Like we can focus on what we have or what is missing. Like just think about that for a second. Like I can think about the great many blessings in my life, on what I have, and like where I live, the house I live, my wife, my family, the job I have, the opportunities before me. I can just be thankful that I can breathe air, right? I mean, I'm in America and in California, and I can be super thankful just for that. Like some people very concerned and have so much bad stuff to say about California. Okay, great. But there are so many people who love California. Okay, great. Which one do I want to fall into? I live here. I don't really have any plans on moving anytime soon out of California. So I got to make the choice of saying like, do I want to choose to focus on the good stuff of California or choose to focus on the bad stuff? Which, by the way, everywhere you go is going to have good stuff and bad stuff. So am I going to be a perpetuator of the good things in my life or perpetuator of the bad things? Am I going to constantly search for the good or am I going to constantly search for the negative stuff? This is a choice. This is a conscious choice that most people never make. Never make, right? Like when it comes to seasons, it's amazing, but I'm around people and they are never happy no matter what the season is. Like what? And when it's blazing hot and it gets super hot in here, I love the heat. And then people complain, it's too hot, and then it gets cold and they're like, it's too cold. I'm like, I love the cold weather. I can put on a jacket, it's so nice. And then it's fall and like, there's wind and they always want to find something to complain about. Like, why? Here's another thing. Do I focus on what I can do or do I focus on what I can't do? Here's the weather is a perfect example of something that I have zero control over. The only minute bit of control I have is to decide where I'm going to be living and if I want that climate or not, right? But if I'm here and in the summer it gets over 110 degrees, often, do I complain about that? Or do I accept that and find a way to enjoy that? Right? So do I focus on what I can do or what I can't do? I promise you this, if you focus on what's missing, what you don't have, and you focus on what you can't do, you are setting yourself up for a miserable life. Like absolutely miserable life. But if you focus on what you have and shift that focus into gratefulness and thanksgiving for what you have, right? The Bible says, enter into his gates with thanksgiving. Come on, we have to. Being thankful just pushes out fear. It pushes out negative emotions. That grateful heart is so massively powerful, right? And then if I focus on what I can do, this is a massively empowering thing. Okay, if I focus on what I can't do, I have given up all my power, all my authority. I just can't do anything about it. It's not in my realm of power to do anything. So therefore, I'm hands off, right? I can't do anything. I've already focused on that, and I made that meaning, assigned the meaning of like, it's not in my control. It's not my power. It's just gonna happen no matter what. Okay, some things will, but if I can focus on what I can do, it's gonna be freezing cold today. It's going to be snowing. It's going to be a negative 20 degrees. I can't do anything about the weather, but I can prepare for it. I can wear warm clothes. I can layer up. I can plan my day accordingly so that I'm out and about only during the warmest parts of the day and get back. Like I can focus on what I can do. All right. Here's some meaning here. This is interesting. Like, do I look at the circumstance as a punishment? I was giving the example of my car. Like, oh man, the universe is out to get me, or God's out to get me. I'm punished. I'm the victim. Or do I see imperfectness, let's call it, as a challenge, like a positive challenge, a method for growth, or what I like to call a learning opportunity? This is super hard when you're in the middle of it. Super hard, right? Is it an opportunity or a learning opportunity? I mean, like if I take my car breaking down, for example. Okay, I can focus on what I can't do. Like I can't just make my car go again, right? I can't do it. But maybe what I can do is like, oh, I got someplace to be, very important. I can call. Hey, we live in a day and age of Uber, right? I mean, I could literally be picked up in 5 to 10 minutes and taken where I wanted to go and come back and deal with my car later, or have someone else deal with my car. I mean, what if I focus on what I can do, right? And it could be just different. What if I'm like, oh shoot, you know what? I'm stuck. I'll call an Uber. I'll leave my car here. I'll come back and get it. But I'll get an Uber. And then what if I look at the opportunity? Hey, maybe. And this is one of my little secrets for driving behind people who are going so slow that I'm start going a little bit crazy because I want to go somewhere a little bit faster, right? And I always think this. I'm going. I can't pass the person. I'm right behind them. I'm going. And I'm like, and I just breathe and I back it up. And I'm like, you know what? God, I thank you that this person is here and he's probably preventing me from getting in an accident up there. I will never know if that's true, but as soon as I shift my mindset from like, this idiot is not moving to, oh, thank you that I'm being protected right now. Oh, it's a complete mind shift. I'm telling you right now, you guys, it's a complete mind shift. You go to the store and the closest parking spots are all taken. You got to park far away. Or wherever you are, and you got to park far away and you got to walk it in. Man, right here, this is one of my other things. I shifted right away. I'm like, I'm so thankful that I can walk from one end of the parking lot to the other. Yeah, I mean, you just got to take a moment and say, what are you going to focus on in each situation? And then ask, what does that mean? What does it mean when I'm going to focus? Like whatever I'm focusing on has a meaning, and is it going to be positive or a negative thing, right? And if it's a negative thing, think, well, wait, can I make that a positive? Right? And then that will always drive our actions. And this is going similar, parallel to what I talked about yesterday, where our language, the words we use assign a meaning, creates a meaning, and then our actions follow suit. Our actions always follow suit. If I have to park, I get to park all the way at the end of a parking lot and walk my way in. Like I I have to decide how I'm gonna act on that, right? Like the meaning, if I assign the meaning, I'm like, now I can walk. I'm so blessed. I'm like, listen, I still found a spot in the parking lot. That's great. Like I didn't have to park so far that I need to ask someone for a ride in. No, I can walk. I'm good. So then my whole attitude shifts. My whole persona shifts. I walk and I'm joyful that I get to walk, right? If I park at the end, oh, the world's against me. I can't believe it. I'm always late. There's just everyone's everywhere. There's so many people. This world is overcrowded. And then now my actions fall suit with that. I am gonna be grumpy about it. When people ask me how my day is, I got something to complain about, and I'm gonna complain about it. I want to make sure everyone knows that I had to park at the end of the parking lot. You guys, these 3 questions, what am I gonna focus on? What does that mean? And what am I gonna do? They're just so powerful. And this video is now 15 minutes, so I don't want to go or 16 minutes. I don't want to go any longer. So I might touch on this later, but super powerful. I hope that this is like this one little thing impacted you a certain way. It makes you pause and think for just a moment. And the next time you start going, you say, what am I focusing on? Or what can I focus on? What does that mean to me? Because you assign the meaning. Nothing has meaning until you give it the meaning. And then what are you going to do about it? And I promise you, things will shift and change in such a different way. All right. Hey, if you did that, you followed that advice, you started thinking about it, let me know in the comments. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Bye.